This camp really checked all my boxes, but I'm not sure it was worth the lack of forward progress yesterday. I really can't be making 13 miles a day. Best thing about me staying here last night is just other folks will know about this, since this is pretty much the ideal sort of campsite. I could hear something going on industrial, probably one of the mines back behind me, and occasional vehicles from the houses across the way, but nobody was going to see me here. It was also pretty much the perfect temperature last night. I ended up using my sleeping bag as a quilt. So I think from here I have about 55 miles until that rail trail, which is then 70 miles to get into Ohio. But honestly, at the moment, I'm just stressing about the next night as far as a campsite. There is a state park that has a lodge and some other things. That's a little too close. And there is a cheapish looking motel, but that's 30 plus miles, I think, from here. Part of why I'm conservative on campsites out here is it's obviously not as safe walking along the roads at night or at dusk. So I generally avoid that if I can, particularly if it's a busy section. And I just don't know what this next section is going to be like. Before Felipe, it was pretty horrid. Nowhere to camp, heavy traffic. Well, I guess there were places to camp back during that road closed area, etc. But then post-town, I got onto this dirt road by the river, which I wasn't expecting. And that was rather nice. From what I can tell, I'm expecting kind of more farmlands and remote roads, but it's very hard to tell that from the map. I need to wait till I have internet and pull the turn-by-turn directions, I guess, since that might give a few more pointers there. I'd initially looked over there. That was where I was sitting last night at about 5:15 or so, debating going down by that stream, but it just didn't look like a good solution. I was actually going to hike in until I just keep hiking until I saw this over here. Here I just waited until there wasn't a car coming by, and then went to see where this road went. So yeah, the moment I saw that, my plan went from I'm just gonna walk until dark to, yeah, okay, I guess I'm stopping. I've now had 2 days of underperforming, unfortunately, so I'm hoping this will be a return to norm. Like I said yesterday, my feet seem to be doing a little better, but it can be hard to tell. Sometimes they're great for about 10-15 miles, then things start to fall apart. On trails like the PCT, I found I could do things to my feet in the last 5 miles, which I would be recovering from for days. So I always have to fight against I do not want to stop here. I want/need to make it to XYZ mile marker. Because sometimes you need water, or you're in an area where you can't camp, etc. And just trying to kind of listen to my body. I hate that term because my body wants to sit around in a soft bed and drink coffee and eat right now, not drag my butt across the remainder of West Virginia. If I'd taken the advice of listening to my body, I probably wouldn't have made it past a couple hundred miles onto my first trail, much less all of this. Though, granted, there is something to that. When I was resting up at Brian's with whatever I had going wrong, I wanted to go back so bad. And at some point there was just a clear change, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I think I can manage. I'm just a weak, lazy bastard at heart, though. Can't let my brain matter think that it can get a break by just convincing myself I'm tired. So it looks like that road straight ahead is where that shortcut that would have skipped Felipe and all this came from. I'm Mr. Anti-shortcut in general, but that wouldn't have been missing out on too horribly much. Would have skipped all the trucks. There was some nice sections in there, though. And at the end of the day, I found I more enjoyed the journey out here versus just trying to game my way to the destination. And now onwards towards Bridgeport. Yeah. Oh, that cheered me up. Those folks yelled out and asked if I could use some water or anything. Gave me banana bread. Everything I could ask for except maybe 1.5 gallons of coffee to, get me up this hill. I love telling stories about my adventures when people are interested. So yeah, much happier now. Once again though, nice people. It's always 10 o'clock in the morning. Never 6 o'clock when I need it. They also said they'd periodically seen people coming by and described people with carts, and we were talking about that versus hiking. I'm sure there are just an endless amount of folks out here who would be happy to give water or, let me stay in their yards. Like I was telling them though, it's just hard to make contact. Don't really want to knock on people's doors randomly. People just aren't out in the evening. And it's not like there's a phone number posted anyplace. This trail's never going to be popular enough with all the road walking and everything to warrant it, but maybe if somebody made like little yard signs, ADT logo and text call this number, and then have some check boxes for things they're happy to offer. Like, okay, they might have been okay to offer water, but not place to stay, etc. And honestly, my stubborn desire to be independent wouldn't have me going overboard on stuff like that. Look at how seldom we used river angels on the Mississippi. But I do sometimes kind of wish I was reaching out a little more proactively, because it does cheer me up getting to have conversations like that. Greg and his wife, like I said, just really cheered me up. People complained a lot about cows on the CDT and elsewhere, but a lot of cases it's public land where they lease grazing rights, and due to the grazing there are improvements, which means water sources for thru hikers. In a lot of cases those are wells, not just those muddy cow poop ponds. That is one hell of a cage. I used to watch people with monkeys on YouTube. Every time I see something like that, I'm like, oh! Lots of dogs, and they occasionally charge, but mostly they all stay inside of their yard. And I have yet to see a pit bull in 500 some miles. Hey guys. Oh man, I've not had enough views on this trail. Well, things yesterday were a bit on the flat side, I guess. Fun times. So I was walking by and that lady said, "Are you Matt?" And I'm like, yeah. They invited me in, gave me some water and ginger ale, and even fed me, which was super nice. Turns out they were trail angels who had, I knew about them, but I was just told, oh, they're in this general vicinity and they'll reach out to you if they're around. So that was good timing. Just happened to catch them while they're on the porch. I think the socializing probably cheers me up more than the food does, but I do really appreciate the food. That did put me behind, but it's okay. It's only, it's currently 3 o'clock, meaning I got about 5 more hours of moving time. I'm going 2.5, 3 miles. That's still plenty of time to max out where I want to be. Still don't have a good plan for where I'm going to camp though. Okay, right it is. Okay, been a little too undisciplined when it came to phone usage here. And that is a beautiful thing. Once again, it kind of feels like the parks I'm passing through are mostly deserted. Not sure if it's just a bit early in the year or what. I was happy to find that water fountain on though, and it's always nice to find a bathroom. So for once, I am set up for the evening. Water, more than I need. And now I'm just gonna try and get over 20 and then hope I can make something work. At the moment, the only maybe I got is on the far side of Grafton by a ways. There is some power plant land. And depending what that looks like, you know, if it's open forest, etc., I'll plan to stay there for the night. Otherwise, I just gotta hope I find something. And it looks like after that, I'll have one more day before the rail trail. There is a hotel option. We'll see if there's anything else, but it looks like I might be in kind of a busy area walking through Clarksburg and such. Well, that was fun. Might just be the time of day, but I didn't care for the vibe through there. There were a few churches Jen was looking at as far as places for me to stay, but they were kind of surrounded. My next chance is that power station up ahead. .45, and I am stressing. Not the best, but might be what I have to deal with. Currently just waiting for a while to make sure. While I was sitting there, I could hear people off in the distance talking. It sounded like about me and driving around looking for me, so I left. That was a bust. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm not real happy about this, but I found something that's at least not immediately visible and not signed all over no trespassing, so I'm just gonna try and make it through the night. Anybody ask me, I'll move.